and we got to set up and play like 4 feet from this concrete pool, like 12 foot deep.
All these pro skaters just shredding.
Like
Nice.
thing too hard. I could have fell
Insane.
in.
It was the most. It was the hardest show to actually play when you talk about distractions, because you're like, there was several times where I'm like, just like,
You
whoa,
lost
did
your
that,
place in the
yeah,
song.
did that dude just do a hand plant and Brian almost high fived him? Like, oh, is that a bridge or the chorus coming up? Like,
Nice.
You see people face planting in the bottom of the pool. You're like,
Oh,
is
yeah.
he okay? Should we stop? He gets up and
we see it. No, he's there.
he's
fine.
good.
He's
Keep
okay.
going.
Yeah.
Keep going. Play harder.
Play
no,
harder.
yeah.
Play
It was a
louder.
straight punk rock skater party.
Yeah, it was
Can't go
really
wrong with
good.
punk rock at a
So
skater
bad.
party.
No, and there was Killer Barbecue. They had this. They had all these little what are they called? Chorizo balls, and Chris ate like 10 of them.
Okay. Wow.
Chris ate
Dude.
like 4 ears of corn.
Yeah, well,
Wow.
dude, that was the thing. Like, dude, the pros just do it different. Like, this place was so catered out, easy ups everywhere, like super family vibe, and they
Oh, it
brought
was
out
cool,
some
man.
high end. I don't know who the barbecue guy was, but I mean,
He didn't
we're-
suck.
He did not suck.
That guy with the tuna.
Dude,
Tuna.
He had a very
barbecued
low
up, like-
level of suck in his whole
Completely.
process.
Oh, yeah,
Okay.
no, the
So I
suck was
took-
not there.
All barbecue, no suck.
I hung
all
out
barbecue,
in that
all
easy
suck,
up for like
okay.
an hour. Yeah.
No, not all.
Okay. Got
That's
it.
the way.
No, wait. All barbecue, no suck, or all
no
suck?
suck.
Oh, no suck. Okay.
All barbecue,
Okay. All barbecue, no suck.
no suck as far
Okay.
as we've seen.
All right.
But I met this chick there.
What? You met a chick there? Was her name Heather?
You fucking took my joke.
Way to go, punchline early.
He met a chick at the next show, and it was his wife.
I didn't meet any chicks.
Nice.
Disclaimer. That it was a backyard
No
party.
females there, in fact.
Any
Yeah.
chick that was there with her dude.
So
So it was
I-
a family barbecue.
I was on Facebook and I actually saw it because I follow you guys on Facebook and I saw the video or some pictures coming from that party and it was pretty amazing. Like you guys were right on the edge of the pool
It was the
as they
coolest
were
thing
like
ever to
doing
be a
their
part of.
like
Yeah.
pool magic right there.
I mean, shout out to Sean Ross for even letting us come. I
Yeah.
mean, Dan Thrasher from Since We Were Kids, like, hey, I got this really cool band we do stuff with. I want to bring them out. The guy's all, I don't know.
Yeah, it's really fun to play those shows because instead of like watching a mosh pit, they're just watching the guys skate. It's like a skate mosh.
Yeah,
You know, it's pretty-
dude, it's badass.
Dude, seriously, like, several of the like the rippers were like, all right, let's chill out. We're going to hydrate because the band's just about to start playing.
Yep,
Oh, man, dude.
Did you see what the guitar player was wearing?
I did not see because from the angle.
Yeah.
I'll just tell you guys from the angle. The angle that I saw, the picture that was seen, I saw the pool. I saw a dude coming up out of the pool, and then I saw the bassist in, like rocking out, and everything else was back behind the shot, so I couldn't see the band itself. I could just see where you guys were kind of set up at the edge of the pool,
Like a floating purple beard.
to where,
yeah.
to where you were getting like just,
Rick Dog.
guys were coming up because they were trying to get the shot right as the pool for all the air coming out of the pool.
Yeah. So you may have missed it. There was a dingus over on the side. He was actually wearing the same shirt you're wearing.
Nice.
So every time his guitar would go out of tune, he would slip over and turn his back to the crowd like an asshole.
Wow.
But they would see your name over.
Bro,
See,
you're the dingus.
They see that.
Speaking
They see the big 49 there. Nice.
Oh.
Yeah.
There was
Josh
Big
was
49
rocking
right on the side of the
49,
pool.
Big 49 in the house.
In all seriousness, we're the only station in Southern California, in all of Los Angeles, that plays punk rock.
That's right.
We are it.
I
Like
know.
so, if you want punk rock, you got to come to the 49.
That's why we're
Real.
here.
That's why we're
Yeah.
supporting.
I
I
mean,
fucking love it.
that's why
I
we're
mean,
here.
we have picked up the moniker of where KNAC used to have the moniker. We have it now. We're the cool
Absolutely.
kids on the block here.
That's right. That's why we fucking support your shit proudly.
Nice.
We'll rock in front of all the people.
So, what is the next song that we're going to be listening to here?
Who sings "Come a Chameleon"?
Oh wow,
Boy George.
Culture Club.
No.
So we'll listen to some Boy George, then some
I've got-
Cyndi Lauper.
Time after time.
I've got Pantera in the system right now
Oh,
Cyndi Lauper is Brian's favorite
Domination.
band.
that we put in earlier,
But it's gotta be the Goonies version.
and I got
Pantera.
DI over here. Johnny's got a problem. So which one?
Let's do Johnny's,
Oh,
let's do
here's
Johnny's
some
got a
Johnny's
problem.
got a problem.
You
Yeah.
want to do Johnny's got a problem?
We had a long goal of getting a show with Casey, you
So-
know, OG of OGs. Just the
DI.
coolest guy around.
All right.
Fucking huge fans of
The
DI
DI,
and
the
the
DI.
Adolescents.
And we've had the luck of playing with DI,
DI.
which is freaking awesome.
Awesome.
Cool dudes.
We need to play with Radolescents.
All right, I'm gonna jump into some DI then.
Let's do it.
Okay.
Thank you.
Johnny's got a problem and he's out of control. Johnny's got a problem and he's out of
He's got a pirate radio station. Nobody knows who he is.
No, we know who it is. It violates community standards. They stole the Big 49 today, those Orange County punk rock bastards.
This is a song for the 90s.
Welcome to Dorina Central. May I take your order, please?
Yeah, I want... That was deep.
Thank you very much. We are VCS, which stands for Violates Community Standards. Or on a cold day, very comfy sweater.
I'm glad you heard it this time.
Nice.
We love that. The acronym gets a new title at every show almost.
It does?
You know, it depends on the mood and the scene, but
Okay.
it's very seldom that at the end of the show, Brian's actually says our name. It's like, thanks, we're VCS, and that stands for whatever.
Vertical column support.
That was
a good one.
That might happen.
Okay.
So
I came up with that one just right then and there, too. Yeah, I couldn't even believe it. I was like, whoa, where'd that come from?
Just made it up.
Yep.
Same ether as very comfy sweaters.
Yeah.
Nice.
Victory comes solemnly.
Nice. Ooh, that's deep.
That sounds like you.
That's a very punk rock thing to do right there.
I didn't even try, I swear to God.
That just came to me.
I did, promise.
All right.
All right. So, next song. What do you guys want to be playing next?
Next one, we're gonna bring up some homies. Actually, Larry from a band called Celebrity Stalker is another one of those people out there that was of the very first to actually give us our go out there in this punk rock scene in Orange County.
So I have a question for you guys. Being Orange County, Southern California based, Los Angeles, that's what, LA's always had a very strong underground rock, punk rock. I think back to all the radio stations that I've worked at, and I've worked at a ton. I worked at KROQ, I've worked at KNAC, I've worked at KLOS. I've worked at a lot of different radio stations.
All the Ks.
All the Ks, basically. Yeah.
No W's.
Yeah, and actually no W's. As a matter of fact, I have been. I've worked around New York and I've done work in New York, but I've never actually worked at a New York radio station. Good call on that. So, moral of the story but Stretch has actually. Stretch did some stuff in New York. So,
We'll talk to him later.
yeah, I'll talk to him later. But moral of the story is that being Southern California being so punk rock oriented, are you guys seeing like a huge resurgence back into punk rock in Southern California?
Oh my gosh.
Absolutely.
It seems like it.
question.
Yeah,
no
yeah.
question. From the different venues to it's wild that it's almost more accepted now too, because of like even the clubs are learning, compared to like the hardcore scenes and stuff like that. Punk is so like almost like a family vibe that the shows end up being rad, between the all ages thing and everything else. The people that are throwing shows, the companies that are willing to get in bed with punk rock bands nowadays, it's all changed.
Because like punk rock is all about anti-establishment. It's all about thinking for yourself. It's thinking man's rock and roll is what I've always termed it as.
Absolutely.
So being that thinking man's rock and roll and being so abstract, you have to actually listen to a song to figure out what they're really talking about, because there's some bands that you may agree with their philosophies, other bands you may not.
Right.
But everybody's got their own philosophy. That's one of the cool things about punk rock.
Definitely.
So do you find that everybody on your tour or when you guys are playing together, all your bands are politically and monolithically alike, or is there some differences?
I think there's definite differences.
You do run into the differences, but I think one thing that we were shocked by was how many that we have ran into that are very philosophically aligned with where we're coming from.
Yeah. I expected, because we're so extreme, I expected to get more resistance than we have.
Yeah.
And maybe there are people who aren't in agreement with us philosophically. They haven't voiced it, and everyone seems to be stoked on what we're doing and stoked with our message. I wouldn't say
scene.
everyone, but most of the scene. We've run into a little bit of, we've heard through the grapevine.
I remember like TSOL was that way back in the day. I'm going back in the day, and I'm saying you had bands like DRI, Agent Orange,
right.
Dead Kennedys, and then all of a sudden TSOL, and it was left field, completely a different perspective than the rest of those bands.
Yeah. Yeah.
But yet they would play together on the same bills, and they would do
100%.
And I think throughout all of punk rock, there's an anti-authoritarian streak to one degree or another. Some bands are more extreme than others, but
Well, I think that the TSO will be more on the right, and then you have Dead Kennedys more on the left.
Yes.
You know, that's like completely different.
I would say
that's a big
I don't know
problem.
about that.
For us, that's where we've kind of split the middle. We said, you know what? Fuck both of you. we've had enough.
It's easier.
as far as like traditionally, the traditional left and right, you know, as those terms have been defined.
Yes.
We throw all that out. We're outside all that shit because that is just a distraction.
Okay.
That's what we're
right.
about, is rising above all of that, realizing that
There's players here. There's
There-
people playing us
yes.
every fucking day.
I mean, in addition to the anti-authoritarian part of it, is a little bit of allowance for personal expression, personal freedom. So, like,
Right.
yeah, you may think differently, but like, it's you do you, you know.
Yeah.
So there's
So yes,
an
the
allowance
punk
for
rock
that.
scene is getting much bigger and more inclusive.
Interestingly,
it's all about having fun, you know, but you know, spreading a good message at the same time.
Nice. Okay. I get it.
I think that's the big thing is for us, it's not about left, right, up, down, whatever. It's just more about, hey, we need to stick together as a people. There's powers here that are trying to corrupt our way of thinking, and we 100% are not having it.
Yeah.
Yep.
And that's going back to earlier what Brian was talking about. It's like we need to like whatever we need to do.
Okay.
Which was the whole crux of this project was is to wake up and say, hey.
Well, and
we're
that's
not
I
having
think I think that's why we didn't know what to expect as far as how the scene would receive us.
Okay.
You know, I mean, but it's like you said, there's such a diversity in punk rock that bands that have such polar.
Oh,
like,
I just remember back in the day there was like beef at times, even though they were on the same bill. The promoter would have the same promotion going on for a full punk rock bill.
Yeah.
At the same time, some bands would be like, "Oh man, I'm not hanging out with TSOL at all, man. Those
Right.
guys are just." And then other bands would, you know, opposite.
Yeah.
You know, you would get that push and that pull because there was that dichotomy of opinion. But yet, when all of them were on the bill, their fan bases would all just like they would be in the mosh pit and they were just like there and like
100%.
yeah, you know.
Well, and there's less of that. What we're seeing nowadays, it's become so much more. I mean, I'm not going to drop names, but there's a band in our scene right now that they like to
That's
solve
smart.
problems.
I didn't drop names earlier with you guys, and that's
Yeah.
why I didn't mention the Heather.
Right.
You know.
That's okay. We're going to leave it at the Heather.
The Heather.
We did hear the Heather story,
heard
though,
the
and
Heather
that is a
story.
good
Nobody
story.
knows
Fucking
but
rad
us.
story.
We're just going to
Heather
leave it
is.
at the Heather. But
That's the Heather.
Heather knows.
So
Yeah.
you can't dropping names is like you know you don't want to
no
do
need.
it.
It's a little
You know,
creepy.
You know, unless,
It's a
you know,
little
we're
creepy.
homies. But
Yeah.
no, there's another band out there,
Unless
you
you
know.
whisper it.
We leave it on the outs, but they like to handle things by fighting people and like, oh, we don't like our time slot. I'm gonna yell in your face, or I'm gonna, you know, you said we were gonna do this, or a promoter that they know had a really good show with a band they like,
Okay.
and they yell at them like they're gonna fight because they didn't get put on the bill. Those are the people that are getting ostracized now. You know, it's
Fear's not touring anymore, man. Lee Ving stopped fighting a long time ago.
you know, nah, not Fear, not those
talking
boys.
about
We
Fear.
love that. But
like,
I mean, from the
Ving's-
difference,
Yeah.
and it's a little bit like our music's been described as a black dress. We can play with like the oldest punk rock stuff up into like some metal sounds. Like we've got like on
Well,
the
that's because
15th.
our influences are so diverse.
Right.
You know, we listen to a lot of shit, so we
Well-
pull from everything. And
Started with the Green Day, the Bad Religion, and then it went into Ozzy and the Pantera,
So
and then
what
back
is
to the.
what is your
you know,
opinion
Rancid
of the
and-
Green Day, the Offspring, the Pennywise,
How
the
censored are we?
the Blink 182?
No, I'm very different opinions.
The Heather.
But I'm serious. when
All
I-
of those have different variables.
I'm serious
to
when I
them.
ask because they're more of the mainstream pop punk
Correct.
element of it. And do you think that that's been good for your craft, or do you think it's been bad for your craft? Do you think it's been good to bring that attention to your craft, or bad for your
I
craft?
think it's really good to like aim for something you don't want to be.
Okay.
Well, I mean,
Well-
hearing that kind of music on a top tier level is just, you know, some people that maybe have never heard punk rock, but there's just a difference there.
I think bands like Green Day and Blink 182,
Offshoot,
The-
Offspring.
yeah, the level of commercial success that they achieved, I think it's good overall for punk rock because those bands served as gateway bands for a lot of people
and drove people into discovering punk rock.
Right. And
taking
and they
a
go,
deeper dive.
And then what's his name from Green Day, Billy Joe Armstrong or whatever, would talk about Dead Kennedys in an interview or something, and these kids would go, "Who the fuck are Dead Kennedys?" and then look into it and become punk rock, like real punk rock fans. Not that Green Day's not real punk rock; they're just on the poppier side. But I don't know. I don't think those bands overall have been bad for punk rock. Am I a personal fan of some of those bands? No, but I think overall they've served the scene well.
Okay.
You know?
And the reason I mentioned that is because as a guitar player, I started as this is Chuck from VCS. Started, in case you didn't know.
Wait, what band are you in?
I'm from VCS.
Very complete spiders.
Anyway, so we're learning these punk rock songs like Green Day and Offspring and Nirvana and stuff like that. But then we decided to evolve as guitar players and get into the metal, learning more technical stuff. And
got
into Rage Against the Machine, Pantera, those kind of guys.
Now Rage is one of those bands that universally gets a lot of respect, even with their commercial their commercial success. A lot of people love Rage as a band.
We're
well, nowadays they're Rage on behalf of the machine.
Yeah, we are not too stoked on those guys anymore. They were gods to us at once. Now they're pushing the Vax, which we were totally against.
Yeah, I say Rage because of the fact that the way they recorded their record, how they recorded their record, the fact that they always included the message in their record and how their message was so important to them. What that message was, I
heard beer in the background.
Now their message is Vax up, and we ain't playing that. Homie, don't play that.
I'm here to let you know I have not taken the Vax myself. I was one of those people that looked around at the world and said, mankind's been around for about 15,000 years, and we did not need a Vax 15,000 years ago, so why do I need one today?
Somehow we made it this far without vaccine technologies.
So anyways, time went by, we learned all these skills, and then evolved and found punk rock's just more for me.
Yeah. Okay. Nice.
Real quick onto the, back to the scene, where you were talking about the difference between the bands and, the bickering at the venues.
Yeah, well, it's interesting because punk rock, as I pointed out at the very beginning, it's thinking man's rock and roll. You've got to have a message and you got to think about it. When you listen to a punk rock song, it's usually written with some sort of a message behind it.
Right.
And whether or not you agree or disagree with that message, okay? It could be a far left message, it can be a far right message, or it can be, in your guys' case, a completely out of center message. It can be whatever message you want it to be, but you have to think about that message.
Right.
And a lot of these bands take that message so severely to themselves, they'll even get internal with other bands and be like, no, that I don't want them. And that was the case with TSOL back in the day, where they were more of the right-leaning message. Right. And then you had bands like, Dead Kennedys and Agent Orange, which no, we're not even.
But was TSOL more right-leaning?
They were.
They had songs about anarchy.
They did, but they were more, They had that more right-leaning perspective than, let's say, a band like the Dead Kennedys, or a band like Agent Orange, or even DRI, or
But it's
Black
crazy,
Flag.
What was once considered left-leaning is now right-leaning. It's almost been flipped. That's why we're just kind of above all that.
That's how you can see right out the gate that this is a distraction, dude.
Right. Yeah. Yes.
When they can flip it and morph it to 180 degrees out to fit the current narrative.
Yeah.
If you don't wake up right then.
Yeah.
Come on, guys.
But I like punk rock just because it makes you think. It requires you to think, whether or not you agree or disagree. I'm not telling our audience to agree or disagree with the message. I'm just simply saying that message, whatever that is, you have to think about it. You have
to think about it for yourself.
Yeah.
And don't
make your own conclusion.
On fact checkers to tell you whether something's right or not. Actually marinate on it. Bring in the information.
Yeah.
And don't agree or disagree with it. And actually analyze it in your own head and come to your own conclusions.
Yep.
That's what punk rock's about.
Dude, the way they
back to the whole politician problem.
Exactly.
We're relying on them to think for us.
Yes.
We need to shut that down, and that's why we're here.
Exactly.
Dude, we're all about just self.
I want to check the fact checker though. Somebody needs to put out a post that's just a
Oh, it's
red
been
screen.
done, dude.
Just all it's on there is red.
Yeah.
And then you're like, what do you think of my purple painting? Shouldn't they fact check that and say this is not really or okay, was that too far?
Nice.
I like purple.
They never fact check the real stuff.
Don't just go doing what all your friends are doing. Like 10 of your friends are doing this, but 5 of your friends are doing this. Which one are you know?
Well, I think
stay away from the reefer, kids.
I think thinking for yourself is definitely important.
No, don't stay. Smoke a lot of reefer.
I think thinking for yourself is very important.
Speaking of the color purple, I think we have a little celebrity stalker to talk about.
Yep.
I don't know how that.
What a segue!
It's just like Larry's guitar. Wait, no, it's bitchin' in white with like blood spatter on it and everything else. But yeah, purple's a great tangent to those guys.
Okay.
These guys we're gonna play a song from them, Thrill Seekers, right?
Thrill Seekers.
It's also got a rad video on YouTube.
Yeah. It was actually the song we were gonna play was called "Your Mom," but we thought it'd be really rude to come on.
Well, the boys
your
wanted
air raid. Say, hey, we want to play
I
your
wanted
mom.
to do your mom.
Everybody's doing your mom, so
No.
Yeah.
They have their guitar player Larry is an absolute beast amongst men, and this song's got some good examples of that. But they have a song called "Your Mom." They almost always end with it, and it is an absolute classic.
All right.
Great one.
We're gonna play it
If
right.
you ever get some time, go check it out on
We're
YouTube.
gonna play
Great video.
We're playing Thrill Seekers right now, right?
Yes,
Yep.
Thrill Seekers is a better song than your mom, even though your mom is hot. I mean, rad.
I like a mom occasionally.
Yeah.
All right, it's Big
doesn't?
49.